Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple locking snare out of a piece of cable. It's a great tool to have in the bag. Doesn't weigh squat. It's good for about 500 pounds. You can catch just about anything you want with them. They're fantastic. So hang in there and we'll put one together. So the tools and materials to do this are pretty straightforward. This is some 7x7 stainless steel cable, 1/16 diameter. These are 1/16 copper end stops and 1/16 oval swedge fittings. Now these fittings in this cable can all be picked up at your local marine hardware store. I got all this stuff at West Marine. The cable's about 30 cents a foot, and these come in packs of 4 or 8, however you get them, and they're just a couple bucks. So it's really inexpensive to do this job. If you want to elect to go without these, you will need a special tool to use them. So if you go without them, you can use old nuts like this to use as stops, and you can use a nut like this to make a loop. Just feed the cable through and then put it in the vise and crimp it down, and it works just fine. It's just a little janky, for a lack of a better term. It's not quite right, you know what I mean? So to do it the right way, to make it nice and clean, we're going to go ahead and use these stops. You will need a special tool to use those. It's called a swedge it tool. This one goes down to 1/16. I don't know if you can see that there, but this tool will allow us to get really nice, good, round, crimped fittings. It'll look like a professional job. So really good way to go, and the tool's inexpensive. You can get that too for about 20 bucks, so not a bad way to go. And the secret ingredient to make this all work is going to be a penny. You need to get a penny that's either 1981 or older. They are made out of copper, 90% copper. If you elect to go with a newer penny, it will not work, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now you're going to need some cable cutters. You're going to need a drill bit that's slightly oversized of your 1/16 cable. That way it'll fit through the penny. You're going to need a ratchet if you're going to use this, and a hammer, and a vise is handy if you got them. So stick with me guys and we'll walk you through it. Alright guys, the first step is to take your penny, just a standard everyday penny, 1981 and before, because it's 95% copper. You need it to be real copper. First thing you're going to do, you're going to punch 2 holes in it. You're going to make it look like that. Okay, same deal. Nice penny. You want to clean the edges off and stuff when you drill through them. Take that burr off with a file or some sandpaper or what have you. So then you're going to take this penny and you're going to bend it in half, and you're going to make it look like this penny. So you're pretty much just going to bend it at a 90-degree angle. This is when the vise comes in handy. You're just going to bend it like that. We'll show you how to use that. And this is where having a real copper penny comes in handy, because if you use a newer penny, you will end up with a broken penny. This goes to show you that we now use funny money. That is basically garbage. So, God bless America. Alright, so once you get that part done, we're going to cut some cable. Use your cable cutters, grab your cable. I like to cut them to 36 inches. It's a 3-foot snare. I'll show you how big that will give you, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got our cable cut down to 36-inch lengths. That's 3 feet. And what we're going to do next is put our copper stop on the end. It's just going to be a straight stop. So like I said, again, if you don't want to elect to use the nice equipment and put a copper stop on, you can just take an old nut, put a nut flush at the end like that, stick it in the vise and crimp it down. But we're going to go ahead and put this copper stop on. So there we got our copper stop in place. As you can see, when you do it the right way, it looks nice. It's round, it's flush, it's smooth. When you do it in the vise, it'll still work, but you just kind of end up with this squashed fitting. It just looks poor. It's just kind of lame. We like to do things the right way, so we're gonna carry on and go ahead and use the swedge tool. Spend an extra few bucks. If you're gonna make a whole bunch of them, then you might as well, come out of pocket a little bit to end up with a better product. So it'll pay for itself in the long run. The next step is to put the penny on. What we're gonna do is just stick the penny on the other end, and just be conscious of the way you're putting this on there, because you want the stop to bottom out against the penny on the back side, the outside of the 90-degree angle. And then you just take the other end, stick it through the other hole in the penny, and that creates our snare loop. So this is actually where you'll be catching the animal, and the penny actually works as the locking mechanism. It works perfectly. I'll demonstrate that at the end here. So now the next step is to make your loop at the other end. This is just going to be your fixed loop, where your attachment point, so you can attach it to your engine or whatever you're using to fix this to a stake to the ground or what have you. So we're going to go ahead and fix this swedge, get this loop done. So that's what the fixed loop will look like when it's all finished. Keep in mind, when you make your fixed end, try to make the loop big enough that you can actually pass the other end through, so it's really easy to hitch it around a tree or whatever. Give yourself, you know, something to work with if you need to. It's nice to have that as an option, so just something to keep in mind. But that's the final product. Nice and clean. They wrap up or coil up really easy. You just take something like this and just stick it in the pack. Doesn't weigh much of anything. Doesn't hurt to have a few, you know, 3 or 4 of them in the bag. Like I said, they're good for about 500 pounds. So you can catch pretty good sized game with them. One thing to always remember is that snaring is not humane. It's most likely illegal. You're not allowed to use a lot of snares and primitive trapping techniques in a lot of places. They have outlawed just about all of it. So you're only going to use it as a last resort, but they work extremely well and they're very productive. So you will not starve to death. But like I said, again, they're probably illegal to use and they're not humane to use. So but that all kind of goes out the window in a survival situation. If you have to feed yourself, you have to feed yourself, you know. And then yeah, so just to give you a quick look at how these things work, you know, animal gets in here, and what's really neat is that penny acts as a lock. So when they struggle and pull it down tight, it will not come undone. I mean, it is locked on there tight. No amount of struggling, it's not going to release itself. The more the animal struggles, the tighter it gets, and it just locks itself in place. The only way to get it undone is to actually grab the penny itself and work that lock loose. So there you go, you guys. Fantastic setup, put in the bug out bag or your survival kit, or just in your EDC. You never know when the need might arise. So you know, quick and easy, just costs a couple bucks to get it done, and a fantastic productive way to catch food without a lot of effort on your end. You know, you set a bunch of traps and let them do the work. So there you guys go. Again, always thank you for watching. Jay Dilla signing out.